Movies, TV, sports, flicks. Movies, TV, sports, flicks. Movies, TV, sports, flicks.
The Captain Talk Flicks.
Movies, TV, sports, flicks. Movies, TV, sports, flicks. Movies, TV, sports, flicks.
The Captain Talk Flicks.
Welcome to the Captain Talks Flicks podcast. I'm your host, the Captain Cortez, aka Mr. Love, and this is where we talk flicks. All right, welcome to the podcast where me, the Captain, talks about movies, TV, sports, flicks, anything you can see on a tuber screen. I like to get in here and give my unique perspective, because after 46 years of being on planet Earth, I've developed a unique perspective about these movies, TV, sports, and flicks. I dare tell you about it, because just maybe you care. And according to the stats, looks like you do care. I want to give a big shout out to Dallas, Texas. Got some plays over this past week. Gracias, gratitude, Dodoraba. In Dallas, Texas. I've been seeing a lot of memes for the Dallas Cowboys. I'll be honest, I don't watch football. I have no idea what they mean, but there's been a lot of memes about Dallas Cowboys. I'm not entirely sure what's going on down there, but they kind of look negative. So I'm thinking there's something negative about the Dallas Cowboys. I don't follow the NFL really, so I don't really know what's going on. But hopefully, whatever's going on with them, it improves so the memes can get better. Because these memes look kind of negative. So I appreciate you listening, guys. It's gratitude. And just FYI, back then was school to be a radio DJ, but I never got a job. I think I never got a job because I didn't have the heart. If I would have had the heart, I would have just pursued becoming a radio DJ relentlessly. I wouldn't have stopped. I would have been like the Terminator. I will not stop until I become a radio DJ. And I never did that. But that allowed me to become the greatest podcaster in the Matrix. It's up to debate. Might be true, might not be true. But I said it on the internet. So it's got to be true, right? Because everything on the internet is facts, not facts. True, false, propaganda, fake news, the Matrix, NFTs, EFTs, cryptocurrency, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, money, investments, profit, loss, assets, liabilities. I don't know. I didn't make the internet. Ask the people that made the internet. So when you're online, just beware, just watch out. Anyways, it can ramble you all day, but it won't. Let's get right into the podcast. But first, a word from our sponsor. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my life's mission to expand my mind. Every day I walk on planet Earth, I'm trying to expand my mind just a little bit more, learn a little bit more, grow a little bit more, expand a little bit more. And on that path to mind expansion, I like to write daily. I have a notebook, I have a fountain pen, and I write. I write various words, ideas, quotes, raps, rhymes, just various writing on a daily basis, write with a pen. So if you're like me and you want to expand your mind through writing in notebooks and journals or whatever, if you like that, we got a notebook for you with Existing Fictions as a store. And on that notebook, it says expand your mind with some nice colors behind that. It's a very dope notebook. So if you're like me and you like to expand your mind through writing and you want a notebook that says expand your mind, check the link below at the Existing Fictions as a store and get yourself an expand your mind notebook. So check out the link. Now let's get on the podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, I am back again. But if you've been here, you knew I was going to say that. I kind of say that all the time because I keep coming back. I keep showing up. I keep experiencing life, experiencing different things, and keep coming back here again. And this year, 2022, I've experienced a lot of different experiences. I've had a lot of new conversations with new individuals about different things I never talked about before. Different situations coming up that I hadn't experienced before. All this went down in 2022. There's a lot of newness this year. Some of it uncomfortable. Some of it comfortable. Some of it were wins. Some of it were losses. But this is life. This is how life goes. If there's one thing I've learned in the last 46 years, is no matter your station in life, no matter where you're at, you're going to encounter problems that need resolutions. No matter what. There's no end to it. I don't care how rich you are or how poor you are or where you are, what nationality you are or what race you are, what gender. It doesn't matter. That matters. Fat, skinny, it doesn't matters. There is going to be problems that need resolution until you die, unfortunately. I think this is just the way life is. And it took me a long time to figure that out. I had that mindset when I get there, I'll be fine. Oh, but when I get there, I'll be fine. No, it's not true. It's all lies. Don't believe it. There's always problems to be resolved. So just keep growing, expand your mind, and making your mind, your body able to handle whatever life throws at you. Because sometimes life throws a lot at you. Sometimes it can be tough. So keep going, keep doing it. I believe in you. I know you can do it. Keep fighting a good fight. Keep moving forward. Keep expanding your mind. So now it's enough of the inspirational quotes. Let's get right into the podcast. And this week, what I want to talk about is my favorite science fiction franchise. Wait. My favorite franchise of all time. Out of every franchise that's out there, this is my absolute favorite. And I am talking about the one and only Star Trek. And this week, I'm going to talk about Star Trek Lower Decks, Room for Growth. That is a fantastic title. I love that title of that episode, Room for Growth. There's always room for growth. As we navigate the timeline of life, there is always room for growth. Just on the title. They haven't even talked about the show yet. Just the title is expansive. Just the title is growing your mind. Just the title is dope. Room for growth, because there's always room for growth. Every day, room for growth. Anyways, before I talk about the episode, a couple things. First, there will be spoilers. Spoilers are coming. Second, I do own some shares in the parent company of Star Trek. I just want to be clear and transparent with you to let you know that, because I am talking about it. And I do have kind of some interest in it because I do own some shares. Just had to put it out there. I love Star Trek so much, I got some shares. That's how much I loved it. So I love it that much. So I just want to let you know that. Now let's get on the podcast. So this week in Lower Decks, Room for Growth, the crew, the lower deckers, most of them at least, were trying to get a better room. They wanted a bigger, better room on a different floor of the ship. That's what they wanted, right? They went about trying to pursue that. Right? But there's also another story going on at the same time. And this is a story I want to focus on. Because when I talk about Star Trek, I like to try to gather the lesson that I learned from it and go a little deep on it and try to talk about that. Because every episode of Star Trek, there's always lessons in the show all the time. In this episode, no different. So the other story going on was the engineering team of the Cerritos was putting in a lot of work. A lot of work. Lots of work to levels that they are getting stressed. They're working so much work, they are stressed out. And the captain's like, bro, we need you to go to this relaxing planet to get some spa treatments or get some de-stressing going on. So we're going to go to this planet or this space station, whatever, and we're going to de-stress. That's what's going to happen. We're going there. So one of the lower deckers and the rest of the engineering crew went down there to de-stress, right? Like the captain's like, come over here, go do this and de-stress. But no, they had to work. They said, I can't de-stress. I do work. I had to do more work. We're here de-stressing, but we're still working too, right? And this particular part of the show I found so interesting because as I walk through life, as I do my regular daily thing, I find that it's getting harder for me to relax and de-stress because I feel I always got to be working, right? If you could just see my lifestyle, how I live, you would see like, man, you stay busy all the time. Like from sun up to sundown, you were busy, bro. I do, right? I felt I slept so much the prior 20 years and didn't do a whole lot that I'm making up for lost time. So I feel I always got to be productive, always got to be working, right? It's just hard for me to slow down, chill, and just relax because I always got to be productive. Just like the lower deck guys, it's kind of the same thing. In fact, there's a whole hustle culture out there that are so dedicated, just like working. You see The Rock does it. Jocko is talking. All these guys are like work. David Goggins, work, with the work and get to work and do right, which is a fine mindset to have. This is the mindset that I've adopted. All those guys are just named, Rogan, all these other guys. I've adopted that whole mindset, the way of living, the way of being, to take on all the problems and situations the world brings. And I feel since taking on that mindset that I've achieved and done better with those situations when they come up. It's a fine mindset to have. But also that being said, sometimes you just gotta rest. And having that kind of mindset, that hustle, work mindset, sometimes it's hard to slow down and unplug, right? And in the lower decks, we saw that. These engineers on the Cerritos are so dedicated to the work, to getting things done, to solving problems. They couldn't even stop on the relaxation space station or planet or wherever they were at. They had to keep working, right? And I totally understand that. But an interesting thing happened in the story. Basically, at the end of the story, the engineers are like, hey, we can't stop working because working relaxes us. doing this work makes me at ease and gives me peace, right? Now, doing this podcast for me is work. I have to edit it, I have to talk, I have to do a lot of different things to get this podcast out. But I'll be completely honest with you. It kind of is a relaxing process for me. Although it's work, it is kind of relaxing. Enjoy it, some plugs and wines, being creative. So I totally understand those guys on the Cerritos, those engineers who want to do work to relax. I get that, right? So for me, maybe getting a spa treatment or getting a massage or laying in a mud bath or playing with puppies or dogs or whatever, that's fun, that's relaxing. And it is relaxing, I'm not saying it's not. But also for me, doing work can be relaxing. Yoga is relaxing, right? And that's work, right? Doing this podcast is like doing music is relaxing, which is work as well, right? So I totally identify with those guys like, hey, we work, but we also get to relax, we work as well. So, there's mindful walking, there's mindful driving. Like you can do things to get in a mindful state, in a relaxing state, doing tasks. So it's a very interesting story, interesting tale, interesting lesson in the show this week. Yeah, we work hard, we bust our butt, we work. But there's also got to be a moment of time to slow down and relax. And maybe your relaxation, what you do to relax and unwind and decompress, doesn't quite look like what the norm may be. Maybe you don't get the spa treatment. Maybe you don't get the fancy massages. Maybe you don't do the whatever people do to decompress. You do a little bit of work and it relaxes you, and that's fine, right? But I think the lesson to be gained from this week's episode is, yeah, work, get things done. Hustle. Cheap, right? But also got to take time in a moment to relax, to rest, to just decompress, to give the body a rest. And I'll be honest, over the last few months, I may have not been following that advice. So that is the lesson this week. Star Trek always got the lessons. Even the funny, comedic Lower Decks got lessons. There's lessons in all Trek. You want to go to school, you don't even got to go to summer school, shorty. All you got to do is put in the Star Trek DVD. If you know where that came from, you know where that came from. But anyways, yeah, I mean, there's always lessons in Star Trek. Watch it, it's fun, it's comedic, these Lower Decks it's entertaining. There's also some lessons, learn a little something as well. So anyways, another fantastic episode of Star Trek Lower Decks, Room for Growth, because there's always room for growth. And that concludes the podcast. That's all I want to talk about this week. So until next time, we'll see. Being defeated is often a temporary condition. Giving up is what makes it permanent. Marilyn Vos Savant. Until next time, it's Captain Peace.
The Captain Talks Flicks.